Okay, so I have a whole bunch of drugstore goodies. I just went to Walmart and bought a whole bunch of stuff. That's now my fun thing to do, is going to Walmart, going to Walgreens, and buying drugstore makeup. So drugstore from head to toe, baby. So on one of my last videos, I had said that I was a server for the past 10 years. And you guys, would you want to hear any server horror stories? And a few of you guys responded back and said yes, you would be interested in it. So I'm gonna make a full video for it, but I'm gonna tell one of the stories today while I'm getting ready. So this was, I think this story happened was maybe when I was 6 months into being a server for the very, very first time. So I didn't really have that much experience of serving at the time. I kind of, like I said, I was a host before. I was a host. I got promoted to a server. I had never done it in my life. So I was doing good so far. You know, nothing really too crazy had happened to me yet. And basically that night we were going to have, at the restaurant that I was working at, we were going to have a party of 30 sitting down. So if you've never been a server, when they say there's a party of 20 or a party of 30, either your life is going to be amazing because you're going to make a lot of money, or your life is going to be hell because the party is horrible. And at the time, thank goodness, I believe we had automatic gratuity for parties of 8 or more. So that means basically you're guaranteed an 18% tip. And unless the table actually asks for you to take the tip off, which is just, guys, if you're in a big party, just please don't do that. That's so mean and messed up. I mean, unless the server was complete, garbage, or they were mean to you or rude or anything like that, then okay, I get it. But if they did their best and things took a little while, let's say the food took a while, don't ask to take that tip off. Don't. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes to basically make a good experience for a big party. You have no idea. So if things are taking a little bit longer, especially if it's one server all by themselves, please be nice, please be patient, please be kind. So anyways, that's my PSA. But that night, my manager was like, oh, Sam, you're going to be taking it with so-and-so, another server. I'm not going to name her. I don't know if she wants to be in the story. You're going to be taking it with, let's just call her Courtney. We're going to be taking the table with Courtney. And, we're just going to have it in this one section of the restaurant. And, just do your best. If you need any help, let us know. So I was I think this was one of my first really, really big parties. So I'm not going to lie, I was very nervous because it's hard to serve 30 people. It's hard to serve 5 people sometimes. It's hard to serve 4 or 5 different tables depending on how difficult the people are. So I was oh no, I'm kind of scared. I don't know how this is going to go, but I felt better because I had Courtney with me, taking the table with me. So at least, I wasn't alone. Immediately when the party shows up, I can see that it's a party of 30 teenagers. And I'm why is this happening right now? Immediately I'm oh no. And then literally everyone in the restaurant was oh my God, that really sucks. You gotta take it. Because basically, where I worked, you couldn't sit the whole party if it was a large party until there was 50% or more of the people there. So they were coming in kind of one by one because obviously they were all I guess friends and stuff. And immediately in the waiting area, they were being loud and annoying and very loud, immediately. So even before that, I was oh no, this is not gonna be good. Side note, this brow pencil is really, really nice. This actually does basically remind me of the Anastasia one. Really, really nice. Now I'm gonna put on some concealer to prime my eyelids, and we are going to be using the Profusion Mirage palette. I have never used this palette before, so I'm really excited. Got it at Walmart, so, you know, right down the street. So I'm going to kind of zoom you in, and then we're going to go into the rest of the story. We're zoomed in a little bit more. Hey, how are you? This is my face up close. So we're going to be going into this shade right here for the transition color, and I'm going to fluff that in my crease. So, okay, back to story. So I was there, I was seeing, you know, my teenagers going friggin' crazy in the waiting area, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be like, this is not gonna be good. Like, I'm nervous, you know. So basically we laid out all the silverware, we laid out every single menu just so we can be like as prepared as possible, me and Courtney. And then basically, you know, the party's almost all there, and then the host is like, okay, you guys can go sit at your table. This is the section. So she opens the door, and it's literally like opening the gate to like a zoo. Like, they all run into the area, like flood, like super quick. Like, they're loud as hell, like super loud. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. And they just like all flood in, and immediately, you know, like me and Courtney give them like a few seconds because they're all like talking to one another, and sometimes it can be really awkward just immediately going to a table if like it's a large group and they're just like, you know, haven't seen each other in a minute. A little bit of this color right here, and I'm gonna be doing that, fluffing that into the crease area. We're just gonna be doing a nice like smoky, warm pumpkin spice type vibes because I have this like orangey lipstick that looks really, really pretty. So anyways, so they finally all go in. It's like a chaotic mess, and me and Courtney finally go. We take the drink order, and as soon as we go in, because we had a good attitude, we're like, okay, whatever, they're all teenagers, but we're gonna make this work. We're gonna, like, you know, we're gonna do this really organized, really nice. Doesn't matter, like, they're not gonna like intimidate us. And then basically as soon as we get in there, it's like it is a zoo. It's a zoo. People are like yelling orders at us. We're trying to do it one at a time. While I'm talking to somebody, I got 5 other people saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. I got people that they're like poking me in the back. They're like shoving stuff in my face. They're like throwing papers. I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, what? Like, I don't get paid enough for this. What's going on? So you can imagine how hard it is to take 30 people's orders. 30 people. And you gotta, like, you know, remember where they're seating. You gotta remember, you know, are they separate checks? Are they whatever? So at that moment, if you've ever been a server, depending how you ring in the table's food, depends like how the check is going to group together. And you could switch it at the end with the manager, but then again, you know, that's extra time you're just wasting. And in serving world, time is of the essence, baby. So basically what we did was we just put all the checks, we put them in like all separately because we assumed, you know, they're teens, whatever, they came in separately, they're probably going to be paying separately. So literally it was so hard, so difficult to get their order. It was insanely hard because, like I just said, like every single person, people were shouting different orders. I was getting confused because, like, while I'm taking the order, like somebody that was sitting over in, because, like, again, as a server, you ring it in by seat number if you want to do it separately. So maybe seat 5, and like you just kind of write it on your paper just to kind of keep it in your mind that this person ordered this. Like, so seat 5 would be like jumping over to another seat, and then like by the time I'm getting over to the end of the table, the person that was in seat 5 that changed to another seat decided to change their order. And I'm like, wait, hold on, give me a second. So imagine that with all these people like yelling in your face, being really rude, like grabbing straws out of my apron, touching my back, not like in a, you know, inappropriate way, but like being like, oh, miss, I need this, miss. And it gets to a point like, and then like Courtney, okay, so I'm 5'1", And the other server that was serving it with me was like, she's like 5 feet, 4'11". So imagine like two like little girls basically trying to get control of a room of wild teenagers that are like 16 years old. They look like grown adults. Like, I was just like, oh my god, this is like a freaking nightmare. So now I'm going to be going into this brown color right here, and I'm going to be taking that into the crease. So it got to the point, they're all like, miss, I need this, da 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 da. And like, me and Courtney were trying our best to gain control of the room. But then again, like, we're little, like, you know, I was, 18 at the time? So we're just like little girls, like being like, hey, everyone, like, and this is how we sounded. Hey, everyone, like, order one at a time. We guys need you to speak like one at a time, please, 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 please. Saying it in our like little voices. I know I still have a little voice, but whatever, you know? So literally it was crazy. And you know what's, oh yeah, no, I almost forgot. So we said, oh, can you guys please, you know, sit in your seats, and we're gonna take it one at a time, like everyone just please, like, you know, kind of chill. And then one guy was like, hell no, and we were just like, we looked at each other, and then like as soon as he said hell no, everybody just kept like talking and going back to being crazy. So we were just like, oh my god, like this is a mess, like whatever. So we just dealt with it. There's honestly, sometimes there's just nothing you can really do, because, you know, sometimes you would think like you're able to tell people in the service industry like, oh, that's not right, don't act like that. But no, you cannot, because you want to know why? Like, all these like corporate companies, they really don't understand what it's like to be a server. So like, let's say like, for example, that table like complained, it'll go to corporate, and you know, they'll be like, why couldn't you just accommodate what they wanted? Because now I have a guest complaint to the corporation. So it's really like the corporation's fault, because they just don't get how like insane it can be in the actual restaurant, you know what I mean? So whatever, on to the food now. So we rang everything in, and now I'm actually going to be going into quick break. So I'm going to be going into this nice sparkly color right down here, and I'm going to put that basically all over my lip. Okay, so now that I have the glitter eyeshadow on, which actually did not do that bad for being Drugstore. I mean, it's not Tati Beauty, but it's actually pretty good, because I have a Violet Voss palette, and this did a lot better than that. So now I'm going to take this color just in my inner corner, just for like a little pop, and I'm going to take it into the brown one. So back to my story. So we took the order, we got everything in, so that took a little while. I mean, obviously you have to bring in 30 orders, 30 drinks, if they got appetizers, which some of them did. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more of the pumpkin color right here, and I'm gonna blend that into my crease just so it works with the glitter. So yeah, once the food was in, we felt like super relieved, because we were just like, okay, whatever, let's just like get them in and out, let's just get them their food, and that's it, and you know, we'll survive this. And obviously, like, we, you know, everybody like was helping us in the restaurant that like could, so that was awesome. Like, our manager was showing us a lot of support. They're like, you need anything, let us know, like, we'll go to the table, don't worry about it. And then it was funny, because everyone that was like running food to the table, like when the food was ready, everyone was literally coming back and saying, oh my god, I'm not going back to that table, like I'm not running any more food back to that table, because how crazy they were acting. The thing is, when they were running the food, like the table, first of all, they didn't know where the food was going, like the guests, like we would say, like, you know, like what we kind of do, we try to bring it in seat number order, and then they'll try to deliver it in seat number order. But because, you know, they were all going so crazy, that basically like didn't work out. It didn't work out because they were moving everywhere. So they had to just call out the food and say, oh, you know, whatever, whoever got the burger, mozzarella sticks, wings, etc., etc. And basically, like, the guests didn't remember what they ordered. And then some people were basically claiming food that were somebody else's. And then they start eating it, and the other person's like, where's my food? And then by the time, you know, me and her get to the table, because we're in the kitchen trying to get all the correct food going out, they are like eating the other person's food, and then one person's missing food. And then it just kind of becomes like a crazy show, because then like some people are like, oh, this is cold, I don't like this, I need new fries, I need refills, I need this, oh, I didn't get my food, oh, like, you know. And then I'm just like, wait, no, but that person has your food, they're eating it right now, like, hold on. And then you got to go tell the kitchen, and it becomes a big mess. But that's really wasn't our fault. We did everything correctly, but the table was, you know, so crazy that, you know, they didn't remember anything they ordered. What can you do? And then the person's like calling out the food, and then they're just taking food that's not theirs, and then they're eating it and being like, wait, this isn't my food, after they already like ate a whole bunch of bites. So re-bring in the food, which took a while, and then, you know, on to the next person. So now I'm going to do my eyeliner, my lashes, and everything off camera, and I will be right back with the rest of the story, and we can go into the rest of the drugstore face. Okay, I have my lashes on. Please excuse this lash. It just like, it was not cooperating today. You know how that is. Some days lashes just don't cooperate. So now to prep my skin, I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. spray. It's supposed to be infused with neroli oil, and it's supposed to be very soothing for the skin. So, you know, let's see. Ooh, that actually feels really nice. I like that. And it has like a very like essential oil type smell, so it feels very like relaxing, almost like you're gonna do like a spa type thing. All right, anyways, and then to prep the skin, I got this looks so freaking cute. I mean, even if it doesn't work good, I kind of don't care because the packaging is so cute. And this is from Hard Candy, and this is from the Marilyn Monroe collection, and it is the strawberry face serum. So I'm gonna be using this to prime my face. So anyways, back to the story, back to my trauma. So the food, like I said, it was a complete hot mess. And sorry, these nails, I can't do anything with them. I'm glad that they're just from, they're not gonna last too long. But anyways, so the food, and regardless, we settled the food thing. So it's just a little dropper like this, and I'm gonna take a little bit, whoop, into my hand, like 2 drops. I'm gonna use it all over my face. Maybe a little more than that. Ooh, it smells like strawberries. I hope that doesn't mess me up though. It smells absolutely delicious and divine, but I really hope that, like, because it smells like strawberries, it doesn't break me out. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. So anywho, we got the food out, we got everything rolling, and we fixed everything that they wanted us to fix. We got them the refills. We were just ready to get them out of there. So it was finally check time, and then we asked, you know, are you guys doing separate checks or are you doing them all together? Obviously separate checks. So separate 30 checks. 30 separate checks. Fun time, right? Super fun. I'm gonna be going in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation in the shade, I think this is Creamy Vanilla. So this is like the lightest one that they have. So anyways, so we were like, oh my God, separate checks, but we already knew it was coming. So we started printing them all out. We got like 30 separate check presenters and all that good stuff. And let me tell you, it got a little bit hard to print out the checks because you gotta think, like, a lot of them got stuff like comped off. So comped off basically means that we took off the item for them because they didn't like it. Remember, they said things were cold, things didn't taste good. So to keep inventory at a restaurant, even if a person like reorders the same dish, you gotta like re-ring it in. So they have that for their system, so they just know that, you know, we lost, you know, whatever, we lost like 2 steaks. So that was a little bit difficult. We had the manager with us, and then obviously people were switching seats, so we were getting a little confused finishing the check. But eventually we all got them. But what basically ended up happening is that when we went to go deliver the checks, people started getting up and trying to leave. So we had to have like the host watching the door and making sure nobody leaves, because you know what? If you stand up a server at a restaurant, depending how big the bill is, the server might have to pay for it, because it is technically the server's responsibility to get the check from the guest, get the money from the check from the guest. And you know, if your manager is nice, or if the restaurant can't afford to do so, they'll comp it off, and you know, the restaurant ultimately loses the money. But with a check that high of 30 checks, you know, the manager can only do so much for you. You're gonna have to pay some sort of portion of the bill if they just like walk out. And they were giving us definitely the vibes of like, we're gonna walk out, we're gonna stand this bill up. So we were super paranoid. People like started walking out, but then there were still people in there, and then it just became like super chaotic. Like they all like just came to the host stand like a weird like line, and then some people were there, some people were leaving, and we were like trying to get control of the situation. And the manager came out to help us at that point, to help us more at that point. He'd been helping us the whole time. And he started just like auctioning off the checks at the host stand, because people were just like literally like taking money and shoving it in our face, like being like, here, 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 but like super just shoving the money in our face with the check. And we were like, oh, okay, good. But then it got so chaotic that like, imagine like 30 different people just shoving checks and money in your face, and people like walking out, that you kind of get really confused as to what's going on. By the way, this foundation, ooh, it is nice. I only used it once long ago and I didn't really care for it, but today I'm like loving it. And then I'm gonna go in with the Infallible Pro Glow concealer from L'Oreal, and I'm going in the shade, I think it's Classic Ivory, underneath my eyes. And of course, they all paid in cash. Some of them paid in quarters and coins. And you know how annoying that is. And a lot of them, some of them paid with $100 bills. So now I gotta go break the 100. Some of them paid with 20. And then their bill was 10, so I have to get them changed for that. Some of them literally paid in, like I said, like in quarters. So it was very chaotic, and thank God our manager was there to help us at that point, because we would have lost a lot more money than what we did. And basically, by the time we finished, and everyone left and we were finishing the check, a lot of them hadn't even paid. So the manager was super nice, and he just like comped it off for us. And my server, my co-server, Courtney, that was doing the table with us, literally like at the end, she was just crying. She was crying and just like defeated. You know, both of us were just like, oh my God, like that was like the hardest table we had ever served. Our manager, super sweet. He like gave us both a hug and said he was like proud of us and that we did a really good job. I was just exhausted by the end, because I was like, oh my God. So the restaurant that night definitely lost a lot of money. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take this like pumpkin-y color and I'm gonna put it underneath my lash line, and I'm gonna put some mascara on my lower lash line. This eyeshadow, it's just like as I'm using it, more and more glitter is flaking onto my face and getting everywhere, which is just kind of like, I don't really care for too much, but you know, the rest of the eyeshadows performed amazing. I think like the palette is really good. I'm just not too crazy about the glitter eyeshadows, but they're not bad. It's just, you know, proceed with caution. And then I'm actually gonna set my face. I know I never do this, but you know, YOLO. Sometimes you gotta set the face. So this is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder, and this is in the shade 140 Light. I think I'm gonna take some with my brush and I'm gonna just dust lightly because again, I'm like super dry. I never really kind of set my face, to be quite honest with you. I just don't, because dry, I don't really need to. But for the sake of this video and, you know, to find another good powder. Back to the end of my story, my manager was super sweet. Using the butter bronzer now. My manager was super sweet, and you know, he gave us a hug. He told us he was super proud of us and that we did a really good job, which was honestly so nice. When you're working in like a restaurant, it's really awesome to have like a manager that has your back no matter what, because there are those guests that will just, for absolutely no reason of your own, just kind of make your life a living hell. Just because for whatever reason, maybe like they're super hungry. Like you just have those days where people, I don't know, they take out all their problems on you because you're their server. But he was super sweet. He really supported us, and we made like, from Party of 30, maybe like $80 each, like tip wise, and that was only because we did the automatic gratuity. If we didn't do the automatic gratuity, they would have left us like not a dime. And that's actually really bad. If you have a party of 30 and you're only making 80 bucks, that's pretty bad. Because, you know, their bill was pretty high, and especially with all the comps and everything. And what really sucks is that you probably don't know this, but let's say you get something comped off or you don't like something, the total of the bill will reflect how much the server needs to tip out. So every restaurant has a different system, but they have to tip out their hosts, their bartenders, their bussers, and the percentage varies per restaurant. But the server has to tip out on the total of every single bill, and the total also includes the stuff that you comped off. So a lot of people don't know that, and they're tipping like a lot lower, and the server's like losing money, which really sucks, because, you know, it wasn't your fault that the food was bad or, you know, anything like that, but you ultimately are paying for that person not liking it. Or if somebody doesn't tip you, you still have to tip out. So actually you're pulling out of your other tips. So think about that next time you're eating out. And then we're gonna be going in with the Maybelline Cheek Heat. It's just actually a really cute like liquid blush. Hopefully I don't put too much on. Take the ColourPop Lunch Money highlighter, my favorite highlighter. Change of plans on the lip color. Another thing that is a downside about buying at the drugstore. Sometimes people open it and test the product, and it drives me nuts, especially where I live, like TJ Maxx, all those places. Like I cannot find good deals because people just go in and start swatching it. Like please don't do that, please. So change of plans. I was gonna use this Wet n Wild lipstick, but you know, as soon as I opened it, I noticed it is tampered, and I thought I had checked it really good at the store, but I guess not. So I'm gonna go in with another very affordable lipstick, and this is the Hual Milan from ColourPop. I love this lip color. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so this is the finished look, a complete drugstore affordable makeup tutorial. I really hope that you guys did like it, and definitely, you know, give me a follow, give me a comment down below what you would like to see next on my channel. I really appreciate you guys supporting me so much, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.